I need you to pay attention to this story, because if this ever starts happening to you, you won't notice it at first. You'll just feel tired, like something is missing, and by the time you realize what's wrong, it might have already taken years of your life. Ethan Walker lived on the edge of a forgotten countryside town where the land stretched endlessly into dry fields and crooked, dying trees. It was the kind of place where nothing ever happened, and where, if something did, no one would hear it. One quiet summer evening, Ethan went for a walk in the woods behind his farmhouse. The sky was still bright, but the trees swallowed the light. The deeper he walked, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects, no wind. That was the first sign. He didn't notice when the world began to change, only when something moved, where nothing should have existed. At first, it wasn't a shape, not a shadow, not even darkness. It was something worse. An absence. Where it moved, the trees weren't there anymore. The grass disappeared beneath it. Even the air felt like it stopped existing. Ethan froze, his breath caught in his throat, because something deep inside him knew this thing was looking at him. Then it moved, not toward him, but through reality itself, like something tearing the world open. And then it struck. Ethan didn't feel pain, not where he should have. Instead, he felt something being taken. Not his body, not his blood. Something deeper, something he couldn't name. And then it was gone. The woods returned, the wind came back, the insects started again. But Ethan stood there, knowing something had changed. That night, he felt tired, not normal tired, like something inside him had been hollowed out. Coffee helped, at first. It made him feel normal again, real, grounded, and life went on. He met a woman named Marjorie. Everyone called her Mar. She lived near the river, warm, kind, the kind of person who made everything feel safe. Ethan fell in love with her quickly, too quickly, and for a while, everything felt normal again, until reality started slipping. One morning, his neighbor's car changed color, blue to black. Everyone said it had always been black. At work, a man named Fred became Dan. No explanation, no confusion, just different. Ethan began writing things down, checking everything, trying to stay aware. Then one night, everything broke. He was in his bathroom, and then he wasn't. He stood in the middle of a street, pajamas down, people staring, a bus stop full of strangers, watching him. Ethan ran, and in that moment, he understood something had attached itself to him. Something was feeding on him. That same night, Mar came over, but she didn't knock. She unlocked the door, walked in like she belonged there. "How do you have a key?" She laughed. Soft, natural. "We've been living together for months. Months." Ethan checked the date. 3 months, gone, not forgotten, not lost, eaten. Years passed, but not for Ethan. His life came in pieces, fragments, moments out of order. One day, a child called him Dad. He had a son he had never met. And still, the thing fed. It TRPRT7, the truth. Winter became his only anchor. Snow never changed. It kept him grounded. Until one day, they saw it. In a mirror, under electricity. A creature wrapped around his head. A leech, massive, inhuman, its mouth buried deep into his skull, feeding on his life. They tried to remove it, and it fought back. Not with strength, but with time. Memories exploded, moments collapsed. Love turned into loss. Ethan saw everything, all at once. Until he was back in the woods. The creature stood before him again, but this time, it stopped, then turned away. Ethan was free, or so he thought. He went home, sat in silence. Then the phone rang. He stared at it, because he knew who it was. Mar, calling for the first time, the beginning of everything. And the end, he hesitated, because now he knew what it would all become. Then slowly, he picked up the phone and smiled. "Hello." If you ever drive through rural backroads late at night, you'll notice something. There are long stretches where there's nothing. No houses, no streetlights, no people, just fields and darkness. Daniel Mercer learned that the hard way. He had just moved to a small farming town in Nebraska for work. It was temporary, at least that's what he told himself. The house he rented sat at the very edge of town. Behind it, nothing but miles of open farmland, flat, endless, silent. The first few nights were normal, quiet, peaceful even, the kind of quiet city people dream about. Until the fourth night, Daniel woke up around 2:13 a.m. for no reason, no sound, no nightmare, just awake. He rolled over in bed and looked toward the window. That's when he saw it, a light, far out in the field behind his house. At first he thought it was a tractor, or maybe someone working late, but something felt off. The light wasn't moving like a vehicle. It was hovering, perfectly still. He sat up, staring at it, trying to understand what he was looking at. Then it moved, not across the ground. Wasad am I, not like a person walking. It shifted, instantly, from one spot in the field to another. No transition, no path, just there. Then not, then somewhere else. Daniel felt a chill crawl up his spine. He watched for another minute, then closed the blinds, told himself it was nothing. The next night, it came back. Same time, same place. This time, Daniel kept watching. The light flickered softly, almost like it was breathing. Then, it moved again, closer. Daniel stood up slowly, walked toward the window, heart pounding. The light stopped, and for the first time, he had the distinct feeling it wasn't just there, it was watching him. He shut the blinds again, harder this time. The next morning, he asked his neighbor about it, an older man who lived about half a mile down the road. When Daniel mentioned the light, the man went quiet, then said something strange. "Don't look at it too long." Daniel laughed nervously. "Why?" The man just shook his head. "Things out here don't like being seen." That night, Daniel didn't plan to look, but at 2:13 a.m., he woke up again, and this time, the light was closer, much closer. Not in the field anymore, it was near the fence. Daniel's stomach dropped. He didn't move, didn't breathe. The light flickered, soft, rhythmic. Then, it disappeared. Daniel let out a breath, until he saw something else. A shape, standing in the darkness, tall, too tall, just beyond the reach of the porch light. And then, the light appeared again, not in the field, not near the fence, right behind the figure, like it belonged to it. Daniel stumbled backward, heart racing. The figure didn't move, but the light began to flicker faster, erratic, unstable. Then, it went out, complete darkness. Daniel stood frozen. Then he heard it, a sound from outside, a slow, steady footstep coming toward the house. The next morning, Daniel packed his things. He didn't stay another night, but before leaving, he checked the field one last time. There were no footprints, no signs of anyone being there, just one thing, a perfect circle in the grass, burned, and at the center of it, his name spelled out. There are parts of the countryside that don't show up on maps. Ethan Cole discovered one of them. He had taken a job delivering farm equipment across rural Kansas. Long drives, empty roads, endless fields. One night, around 11:40 p.m., his GPS signal cut out. No service, no directions, just darkness. He kept driving, figuring he'd find a main road eventually. That's when he saw it, a barn, standing alone in the middle of a field. No house nearby, no lights, no road leading to it, just a single structure, in the middle of nowhere. Ethan slowed the truck. Something felt wrong, but he needed directions. So he pulled over. The engine turned off, and instantly, everything went silent. He stepped out. The air felt heavy, like the world itself had been muted. The barn door was slightly open, just enough to see darkness inside. Ethan called out, "Hello?" No response. He took a few steps closer. The ground beneath his feet felt soft. Wrong. Then he noticed something. There were no animal sounds, no wind, no insects, nothing. He reached the barn door and pushed it open. It creaked slowly. Inside, it was empty. No hay, no tools, no animals, just dirt. And in the center, a single wooden chair, facing the wall. Ethan frowned. That's when he heard it. A voice. Behind him. You weren't supposed to come here. Ethan spun around. No one. The barn door was still open. The field still empty. But then, the voice came again. Closer. Sit. Ethan backed away. I'm leaving, he said. The door slammed shut. Hard. The inside of the barn went pitch black. Ethan rushed toward the door, tried to open it. It wouldn't move. Then, something scraped behind him. Heavy. He turned. Chair had moved. Now facing him. And someone was sitting in it. A figure. Completely still. Its face wasn't right. Too stretched. Too empty. Ethan couldn't look directly at it. It stood up slowly, then spoke. You came here, so now you stay. Ethan screamed and forced the door open. He ran, didn't look back, jumped into his truck, drove without stopping. Eventually, he reached the highway again, safe, or so he thought. The next morning, he checked his delivery log. There was no record of that location. No barn, no stop, nothing. But later that night, while checking his truck, he found something in the back, a wooden chair, covered in dirt, facing forward, like it had been waiting for him.